Hi, 6th graders. I'm going to walk through the content from lesson 15.3, but first I want you to think about this warm-up question. Would you rather roll 2 dice 10 times and have option A, receive $5 every time you get a double, or option B, receive $5 every time you get any 2 even numbers? Think back to our probability lessons. What the probability is of rolling certain numbers on number cubes, and make a decision in your mind. Right, we're going to look at the essential question, how can you write equations to solve problems involving volume of rectangular prisms? In Module 13, we looked at writing equations for area formulas, and you guys did an excellent job with that. So this is going to be very similar to what we saw in lesson 13.3. Today we're using that volume formula, and we can either think about the volume formula as length times width times height, or volume equals big B or capital B, which is length times width, or the area of the base, times height. You use this to write an equation, and then you substitute the known values and solve. So here we have a rectangular prism, and we know the length down here, and we know the width, but we're trying to solve for height. We don't know that. So again, whenever we're doing anything with formulas, we want to start with that formula. I'm going to use the volume equals big B or capital B, area of the base, times height. And then I'm going to substitute in what I know. I know the volume is 70, so instead of V, I'm going to write 70. Big B, remember, comes from the length times the width, and I do know those, so I'm going to substitute in those values, 7 times 2. And height is what I'm solving for, so I have to leave that as H. I need to simplify my expression by multiplying those two constants, 7 and 2, so that equals 14H. And I have 70 over on this side. Right now I have a multiplication equation. When we solve equations, we use an inverse operation to solve for the unknown, or to get that variable by itself isolated. So since 14 is being multiplied by H, to solve for the value of H, I have to do the inverse division. So I'm going to divide by 14. In order to keep my equation balanced, I have to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to divide 70 by 14. 14 divided by 14 equals 1. So I have my H left alone on this side. 70 divided by 14 equals 5. And this would be 5 centimeters. Remember, you might also see the H written on this side and that value on the right side. Here's another one. We're given the volume, we know the width and the length, and we're solving for height. So again, I'm going to start with my volume equation. Volume equals big B, capital B, which is length times width, and then times height. My volume is 84. I'm going to substitute in that value that I know. I know the two numbers I need to calculate the area of the base. That's 4 and 6. And height is what I'm solving for. So again, I'm going to simplify by multiplying 4 times 6 to get 24. That is being multiplied by H, and I have 84 over here. So here I am. I have to solve my equation to find the value of H. It is a multiplication equation. 24 is being multiplied by H, so I'm going to use inverse operation of division to isolate or get H alone. 24 divided by 24 equals 1. Those cancel out. To keep my equation balanced, I have to divide by 24 on the other side. When I do 84 divided by 24, I end up with H equals 3.5, or 3.5 meters in this case. At any time, if I'm unsure of my answer here, I can check it by substituting in that value. So let's say I'm not sure if H is correct. I can go back and I can say, okay, will my answer be 84 if I do 4 times 6 times 3 and 5/10, or 3.5? So That's the wonderful thing about equations. You can always check to see if you're right by substituting in that values you solved for into that original equation. All right, find the length of the rectangular prism below. So this one's a little different. We are given the width and the height, and we're solving for the length in this one. So again, I'm going to start with my volume equation. Volume equals area of the base times height. I know my volume is 672 centimeters cubed. My base comes from length times my width. I don't know the length, so I'm going to put L. Sometimes I use a cursive L for that. L is going to be multiplied by 12, and then by my height, 7. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify this expression, or this equation. I can multiply 12 times 7, and that gives me 84, and I still have my L on this side. Then I have my 672 over here. So I have my multiplication equation that I need to solve for. 84 is being multiplied by L. So to isolate L or find the value of L, I'm going to divide, do the inverse operation, divide by 84. Those will equal 1L. Then I'm going to divide by 84 over here to keep my equation balanced. When I do this calculation, I figure out that L equals 8. Again, if I want to check to see if I'm right, I can say, okay, does 8 times 12 times 7 get me to my volume that I knew? All right, this one has some decimal numbers, but it works the same. This time we're solving for our width right here. Again, we're going to start with that volume equation. Volume equals the area of the base times height. I know my volume. It is 582 75/100. My big B, or my area of my base, comes from the length times the width. I know my length, 9 25/100. I do not know the width, the W, that's what I'm solving for. And I know the height, 4 5/10 or 4.5. Okay, again, my first job is to simplify this right side. By doing the multiplication I can do. The commutative property of multiplication says I can multiply in any order. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply 9 25/100 times 4 5/10. That gets me to 41 625 thousandths. I still have my W. Over here, my volume is still the same right now, 582 75/100. Now I need to solve my equation using inverse operations. This is being multiplied, so I'm going to divide, which is the inverse of multiplication. To keep things balanced, I'm going to divide by the exact same value on the other side. Those cancel out. And W equals 14 centimeters. Again, I can check by substituting in 14 right here to see if it does indeed equal my volume. Oh, last one. This one has some fractions in it. Want to remind you that it's important to use the decimal equivalencies sometimes for these fractions if you're using a calculator. So 1/2 equals 0 5/10 or 5/10. Another common one we see is 1/4, which is 25/100. Think of that as 1/4 of $1 or 25 cents. And another common one that comes up is 3/4. You can think about that as 3 out of 4 quarters of $1 or 75/100. So starting again with my formula, volume equals the area of the base times the height. My volume this time is 379.5 centimeters cubed. My base, area of the base, comes from my length times my width, which would be 4 times 16.5. And I'm solving for my height, so multiplying by height over here. First thing I'm going to do is multiply 4 times 16.5. If you're using a calculator, you would enter 16 5/10 here. That ends up to be 66, and then I have H. Still have 379.5 over here. Now I'm going to solve my equation, so I'm going to use the inverse operation. I'm going to divide by 66, divide by 66 over here. Again, if you are using a calculator, you can write the decimal equivalency for this, 379 and a half, or 5/10 looks like this in decimals. When I do this division, h ends up to be, if you use your calculator, you will see 5 75/100, which is the same as saying 5 3/4 centimeters. All right, your job today, you're going to do lesson 15.3 in Canvas. It's area and volume riddles assignment. So you're going to be solving for some unknowns, writing out those area formulas or volume formulas. Then if you have missing work, make sure you're looking in Infinite Campus, catching up on anything you're missing. And then remember, we have the IXL competition going on from now and through May 14th at 3:30 p.m. So you are trying to answer as many questions as you can. Remember that you need to be at 5th grade level in IXL or higher for those questions to count. Have a great day.